Hey, welcome to the December 19th TST training. We've got Justin Hopkins here from the man, the myth, the legend from Franklin Home to talk a little bit about the upcoming batteries and everything that's going to be coming out in 2025. Because if you're following the industry, you know batteries are hot right now, and a lot of people are putting battery storage in for both protection as well as rate arbitrage. Everybody's getting sick and tired of the utilities climbing in price, as well as the disasters that are happening across the country, everything from Hawaii down to Florida, natural disasters. So, Justin, I want to turn it over to you, man. It was good. Good. Thanks for you jumping on here. I know you got a busy schedule and everything. So
Nah, you guys are still my baby, right? We're still teaching our RSMs, how to support you guys, and as long as Jordan has my number, I'll be popping into these trainings, so we're good. Yeah, we kind of it's kind of fun to sit here. It's been about a year and a half, right, as partners and building, and for us at Franklin, we're real appreciative of the power team. Um, we have a special affinity, at least myself, for salespeople and really protecting not only this industry, but the consumers on the other side of it, right? Like making sure that people are getting the best possible experience. That's why I came to Franklin, because I'd had enough with other batteries and said, all right, screw it. I'm going to go work for a battery manufacturer and see if I can actually kind of change things a little bit. So, yeah.
I appreciate it. So what do we got going on for like what's next? I mean,
All
in
right.
reality, it just like it seems
Oh,
like
yeah.
everybody's scrambling for the next best thing,
Exactly.
right? In the industry. I was just with Nick the other day at our Franklin install down in Orange, and the customers asked me, "It's like, hey, when there's a new and better version of this battery, can I just upgrade it?" I'm like, "Well, you have plenty of wall space, and that A gate can handle 15." And they went, "Oh, wow." but
Yeah, no, that's
but it was like it
compatibility is
seems like
key.
everybody's hungry for that type of like the tech upgrades.
Amen. You're right. Compatibility is key. So, pledge of Franklin is that our new products will work with our old products. Number one, very important. That whole reason I came to Franklin is because Enphase IQ7 didn't work with the battery the way it was supposed to, and to say I was pissed, to say the least, after installing like $20 million of their product. Um, so that's one of the like big things at Franklin, right? Old product works with new product. It's always compatible. If it's not compatible, there's a way to make it compatible. And then if you can't make it compatible, we make it compatible at our cost, right? So as we move forward, can you make it so I can share the screen? I want to show you guys a little something.
All right. Yeah, you're good to go.
Yeah, so who you guys are all aware about the 8 Power 2 and what's coming up next?
A little bit, like we've just been like little teasers. I know that we've got some really awesome power coming behind that, and it's going to be a game changer for the industry. Why don't you go into that a little bit?
Right. So with the 8 Power 2, we are actually um how do I say this? We have changed the game. We have doubled the continuous output of the battery. We have increased capacity. We have made it safer. We have made it quieter and more, all while keeping the price at the same current cost it is now. So, as you guys are, I know it's sharing the screen here. Tell me if it is showing this. Are you guys seeing the slideshow?
Seeing me first.
All right, that's the problem. And not that we don't like you, Jordan. One second.
Try to keep a clean haircut for these
Hey,
reasons.
hey, hey, hey. You're doing good. All right, let's share the screen and let me go to this full thing here. So PowerPoint, this should be popping up. Now, are you guys seeing this presentation right here?
Yep,
Yeah,
looks
we
Where it
good.
says
got it
whole home,
now. We got
full
it.
home backup with a single battery. Perfect. I'm gonna make it full screen then. So the new A Power 2, right? We have, well, actually, no, let me step back a little bit. Let me talk a little bit about the history. I always love this, right? Edison actually invented DC energy. Or excuse me. Yeah, DC energy, right? Thomas Edison, we're all familiar with him. Kind of a grumpy old guy, actually, not everybody's favorite inventor, like Nikola Tesla, right? The inventor of AC energy. So, fun fact, did you guys know Ben Franklin actually coined the word battery? So Alessandro Volta was the one who created the first battery using a chemical compound, but Ben Franklin actually, they used it as a conductor, and it was the first person to use the term battery. Kind of fun fact, and that's where we got our name. And as you guys may know with Franklin, obviously the most scalable standalone battery in the country as it stands right now. So the new product, right, is the A Power 2. You've got 10 kilowatt of continuous discharge with up to 15 kilowatt surge. That is 42 amps for the techies and 15 kilowatt hour of capacity. It's going to allow you guys to easily power things like a 5-ton air conditioning unit and use the, still use other items in the house. But one of the huge things about Franklin is that you can now derate the inverter to make the system specific size. So like if let's say I'm getting 3 batteries and I don't need more than 20 kilowatt continuous power, but I want my battery to last longer, I can set my battery at a different setting to get longer duration so that I don't accidentally burn it out too fast. All right, so this is fantastic with SGIP, allows you guys to get extra money on SGIP, and we'll have some stuff going in the training materials come late January for you how to do that. But the end of the day is you have now not only do you have the most powerful standalone, most capacity of any standalone battery, but now you can make it to be whatever size you need it to be to maximize the customer experience. Because the advantage of AC coupled, right, is that not only do I have the battery power, but I have the solar panels powering the home as well. So for those of you that are big on the Tesla Powerwall 3, I don't blame you. It's super nice to be able to use a bus, skip doing a full load relocation and no gateway, right? Just really brings cost down to the consumer, but it also limits power significantly, right? You're maxed out at whatever that inverter can do, which is 11.5 kilowatt. Versus with Franklin, slap a Tesla inverter onto a Franklin A Power 2, now I've got 20 kilowatts of continuous power with a single battery to the house during the day. So if I'm in Bakersfield or I'm in Sacramento or I'm in Fresno or I'm in inner San Diego or I'm out by Jordan in Temecula, like that's hot, right? I want to run my AC, and a lot of these houses are using electrical appliances like convection stoves and hot water heaters. You're going to need that power output during the day. New upgrade on the Franklin also, we have completely removed fans out of the battery. There are no moving parts. And we've increased the temperature threshold from -4 up to 130 degrees now. So what that means is a silent, quiet battery, noise-free with no parts to worry about breaking in year 3 or 4 or 5 that then cause the inverter to fail, cause the system to be RMA'd, and cost your customer to pay expensive electric bills while they wait for that to be fixed. But for you guys at Power, I think what you really care about, right, is what's the warranty? What's the real value here? We have blown the roof off what a solar or a storage warranty actually looks like. Franklin Whole Home does not have a cycle limit, right? This battery was intended for 10,000 plus cycles. That's why we were able to give it a 15-year, no cycle limit, 60 megawatt hour throughput. That's compared to Tesla's 38.
You're charging and discharging that pretty often, especially in a 100% self-consumption
100%.
capacity.
Exactly right. And this 15 kilowatt hour, by the way, you guys have 100%. The customer gets to use all of it. It's actually a 16 kilowatt hour battery. We just give you 100%. You can use 15 kilowatt hour all the way down to the bones and still have power to use the next day. It's not an issue. So when you're talking, over time, we're talking savings, that extra kilowatt hour and a half, if you're in San Diego, that is $1.40 a day of peak power. Crazy. So big significant savings. And again, no cycle limit on this. We just pimped out the app a little bit. So if you hadn't had the chance to check out the new app, it is awesome. There's actually a little Ben Franklin character that sits up in the corner. You can press him and ask the app anything like, hey, turn off my smart circuit number 1, or how much power do I have left? Right? Or how long will my battery, how much energy is my air conditioning unit consuming right now on my smart circuit? Like, you literally talk to the app and it'll give you questions and answers. And again, our famous storm hedge, which turns the system on and charges it up in the event of any weather events. Had a lot of people after the earthquake and tsunami that were like, whoa, dude, like, it was great that we were able to, after that earthquake, it automatically charge the battery. I know Owen, Carrie had some customers in a snowstorm that were like, why isn't my battery discharging? He's like, well, you're in a winter storm. It's going to save your power while you still got it, right? You can always turn that off, by the way, if you want to risk it for the biscuit. And then the last new feature that I think is really cool with the app for customers that are in California, you simply scan the electric bill with the phone. It's going to automatically set time of use savings and tariff for you in the app. So no more complicated configurations. How do I set this up or that? Just simply scan the electric bill. It's going to give it the best option. So those are the big updates. But the last thing I wanted to share with you guys, out of 7,000 batteries that were installed in the first half of last year, we only had to return 6. Think about that for a minute. Think about how many customers you've installed other products with that maybe something had to get switched or didn't work right, or they had to wait for an RMA. Out of 7,000 A powers, only 6 had to come off the wall. And those were installer error. So we also saw our first 15 A power on one A gate, and also our first 16 battery system out in the marketplace. Pretty cool. This is a residential house, believe it or not. So, and then as far as, for you guys in SoCal, you've got San Diego Clean Power, right? You've got the new $5,000 battery rebate that we're eligible for, amongst other things. So this is all the updates that I had for you. Last thing I was going to maybe talk about that I can't, it's kind of super secret, but we will have a DC coupled solution. Let me find our meeting here. Coming second half of the year.
Cool.
So yeah, if you want to throw Tesla on with a Franklin, honestly, it's the cheapest, the best configuration I've seen. If you're comfortable with strings, it's a great value prop to the customer. Big advantage, right? With the Franklin A gate, 280 amp bus bar, you can start adding stuff in the future, right? EVs, our generator module now, you can add an electric Ford Lightning and charge the car into the A gate as it stands right now. It works. It's like Sunrun's favorite feature because they charge like 12 grand. So when they saw that, they couldn't believe it, right? They're like, well, we're just gonna do this value offering here, right? So next year is looking to be really wild for Franklin. Big thing for us is we're gonna continue to innovate. So we're very nimble as we see you guys are asking for meter collars. Meter collars are coming, right? You guys are asking for a gateway-less system, right? We have put the EMS and the BMS into the new A-Power S. You won't need to do a gateway, meter collar, DC system, 2 boxes on wall, done, right? So that'll be the second half, but A-Power 2 is going to be available end of January, early February for installation. So really excited for you guys to get your hands on that and see what you can do.
That sounds good. I mean, I'm thinking just like right now, we're obviously selling into the new year, and we've got the string inverter from Tesla becoming available. So we're going to have a few different options to go right into Franklin right now. We got some TPO offerings that actually allow Franklin, which I think was a huge one. So we're doing a lot more loans, and we're still going to have our TPO offering.
Yeah.
So one of the things I'm thinking about right now is, well, how easy is it going to be potentially to change order those clients from a standard A-Power? Let's say I sell bunch in January, just a lot of people want to move off the fence. We got some new value prop right with Franklin. I guess that's between you and Power at this point related to like pricing, but do you think it's gonna be pretty easy to change over? Do you guys
yeah, it's same price
inventory that we got to go through, or what?
No, I actually dropped your guys' price. I don't think it's officially in your system yet.
Oh, okay, cool.
So yeah, your price is going down and product's getting better. Either way, either direction, you'll have zero issues finding a Power X. I know a lot of you, I think you guys, I saw the forecast is like 170, 180 A powers yet to be installed of the A Power X, which is a little nervous. Pricing is the same as the old Franklin, yes.
Okay.
It actually may even get better on the new product. So, but yeah, I saw you guys have some, there may be where there have to be some changes. It's very easy. It's plug and play, right? And it's a big upsell. So if your customer did say, if it's like, oh, darn, the A Power X, they ran out and now it's the A Power 2. Good news is, like, it's better. It's more output and more capacity and a better warranty. So if there's anything
always a better conversation to have with a client, 100%.
Right, so. Right, 100%. And yes, you can, Nick, charge Ford Lightning into the A gate with our generator module. Yeah. Yeah.
Generator
attached. And the Cybertruck, by the way. The Cybertruck's like a little gimmicky, but I mean, there's so much I'm on NDA that I can't talk about, but like I've been the fourth employee at Franklin. Like I've got to bring in some really cool auto manufacturers into the game. Like one of my best buddies was at Volvo and then went to Lucid. So we were able to like test that MID, right, for their product. And like their car is 19.2 kilowatt output, 100 kilowatt hour, right? So the advantage of Franklin, right? Like what we were explaining to Lucid is like, hey, the MID can take that. Like the best, but you're a little bit too powerful. You need to reduce that output to fit on a 200 amp service. So 15 kilowatt max, right? Run it into our generator, have a battery for when you're home, right? Or not home, right? When you're driving around running, you know, at work and people are back at the house, but when you plug your car in, that gives you like disaster proof for days and days and days, right? So the landscape's changing. It all comes into that kind of MID, right? The A gate, believe it or not, for even though it costs more money, is the key to future expansion, whether it's heat pumps, HVACs, whatever the customer is going to do, hot tubs, electric cars. By having that A gate, it's going to make their lives so much easier in year 4, 5, 6, 12.
So
Yeah.
cool. So that's neat. I like the flexibility here 100%. So clients just like knowing they can add to and you know, I always tell them, I said, especially when they're going with like a TPO offering, like it's better to add more batteries. Like everybody who's ever put in one has always asked for a second or a third. Like, so you might as well just start with two because
Right.
you're just gonna want them. So the fact that you can do more with one, some of their certain configurations is great. The fact that it's gonna buy just the maximum power output is gonna be huge.
Right.
So
and
you guys have
we're
it in
making them
stock.
in the US. Yeah, and we have them in stock, and we start manufacturing in the United States in March. So
Okay, cool.
yeah, plant is under construction right now. We actually, you know, sent like a year's worth of raw materials over just to avoid chaos. But now that product will only be for TPO, right? So because the only people you want using domestic content are third party owned, because they can actually realize the commercial benefit. There's no benefit to homeowners on domestic unless they're like, I want to pay 20% more for an American product. Okay. But the reality is, right, I've
Stamp
always
that on the
liked,
product, right? Yeah.
yeah. Oh, dude, it's gonna be like, it's gonna things rolling in with like flags coming out of the box. No, but we will have domestic content. So Sonova will be live again come, I think, April or May. And you'll have the option, the flexibility on other TPOs like GoodLeap. You can use non-domestic or domestic. The domestic will obviously give you a better price point to the consumer and more commission to play with.
All right,
So
cool.
nice picture, Owen. I love that. It's the one and only time in a suit.
Is that better? Is that better for you, dude?
Yeah, I really like that, man. That's really nice and clean. There we go. Yeah, back to it. So usually I see Owen, he looks like he just came from a hike.
Blue.
Yeah.
Son just ate chalk.
Awesome.
That's good stuff.
Awesome. And then last thing I wanted to tell the teams that aren't here, guys, we have, like I said, a super secret sales training. Okay. It's called FranklinWH Certified Sales Pro. I will be launching it at the first of the year, like in a more fuller, robust form. But if you want to like see the last of the legacy training videos before they're dinosaurs, right? And we're moving all into the new product. There's some really good training on there and just good stuff on how to position, a little bit on the history of Franklin, like where we come from, how to use, like how to size for HVAC systems for both the A-Power X and the A-Power 2, how to avoid main panel upgrades. Your head might explode in that video, but it's informative. There's a lot of good stuff in there. So go in, play around. If you see something's wrong or like broken, don't like email me because we're trying to fix it. We haven't launched it officially. So I'd love for you guys to kind of have that first peek at it. So yeah.
Okay. Perfect. I appreciate that. We got some little bit of a downtime here between Christmas and New Year. So I think it's a good time just to kind of catch up on some training and all of that and just some marketing for the new year and just positioning. So I plan on going through that 100%. So I know you sent me that a little bit ago, and I've just been a little distracted with current market trends.
The Franklin sales guys haven't even taken it. Like I've sent it to them a month ago, and even the Franklin sales guys haven't done it. So you're okay.
Oh, okay. I'll beat them all there and just say, hey, our partner got it first. So there you go. Oh, and you want to race through it?
Awesome, guys.
Well, yeah. Anybody have any questions?
Yeah.
I assume you have a few more minutes for us.
Yeah, absolutely. I got about 7 more minutes. I got till 11:45.
Anybody want to raise their hand? Come off mute.
Come on, Jordan, you got to ask some good questions.
Good questions. Well, I've been like, I've been talking back and forth to Justin about this for a little bit, so I already know.
Yeah.
So-
No, I mean, honestly, guys, you think about it, right? You get twice as much output than Tesla during the day because the solar is running, right? So you got twice as much power, especially in hot areas to support large loads. You've got nearly twice as much of warranty on paper. And I think that's, oh, generator attachment. Can you talk about what makes Franklin the best battery for all generators? Haha, great question. So you got to go back to the history of Franklin. When we started building these, right? Very first system ever was an investor in Franklin, 3 batteries, their daughter is on life support. So they needed to make sure the medical devices were backed up, but that, you know, the EVs, the ACs and stuff would turn off via the smart circuits so that they could, in an outage, protect life. Like, that was the first system. Second system was an off-grid system at a construction site up at like 1,200 feet on the Big Island of Hawaii. And it was panels on the container and the side of the container on the top of the container, and 2 Franklin A powers on the inside. And they were building a luxury house because they couldn't get power to the property for like 2 years via the utility. So they actually built this giant 6,300 square foot house, drills, table saws, buzz saws, rebar benders, compressors, right? All of that running through the Franklin system. Those sine waves were crazy. So for the first like 7 months that Franklin was in existence in test phase, we're getting the craziest sine waves and data. Like the battery system was built to like operate in psycho conditions, right? And so now you get to generators, right? One of the things that we've done really well with generators in our generator module is we took that data from off grid and stabilizing a signal, right? Because 240 volt is what your generators put out to your house to make it run clean, right? If you got a 20 kilowatt generator, it's probably running 11 or 12 for things to be even, right? If you want a clean sine wave. So one of the things Franklin does really well, right, is finding the area of the sweet spot of the generator and then locking that in and communicating the generator. This is where you should be, how you should be running, how much power the house needs to support the loads and the charge rate. So really what it's kind of like having a friend that's super street smart because he like grew up in Harlem. Like I would say that's the advantage of the generator module, right? Is it's been abused and beaten and it knows what not to do more than it knows what to do. So
That's neat stuff. I like having, I mean, the clients like having options for that. So we've got some I think Nick and I had a client up in the Bay Area that was like, that was a big important thing to him, was the integration of the generator specifically and what the system size was for that. So yeah. I mean, every now and again it comes up, especially off grid. I have ground mount right now in Menifee where it's not off grid, but I've positioned Franklin because it just made the most viable sense for that ground mount. I was like, it's expandable. They're going to use a ton of energy. They're going to need it. And I'm like, I'd rather put something in. I know I can put like another 13 or 12 batteries behind if I needed to. So.
Yeah.
Right.
We're doing an off-grid project right now also. We're using the Franklins as well. Working with Jason Andrade on that project up north. I don't know if you know of him, Justin.
I love Jason Andrade, dude. I actually tried to hire him at Franklin.
That's what he said.
They're like pussyfooting around. Sorry for the bad language, but I'm
No.
pissed. We're gonna get him. We're gonna get him. It's not over.
I'm really good friends with Jason, so that's why I dropped the name
Tell
to
him
see if he was telling the truth.
We literally I just got the position opened up for him. So tell him to call us again.
He
just
literally
posted
was
it
like,
today.
I think he said Renan. He's looking at Renan right now also. So it's between you and Renan. I shouldn't even talk about it.
He needs to come to Franklin. Just tell him we literally posted the job. So somebody's gonna call him, but just to call us and yeah, we're ready.
I have a project I'm working on up north with him right now. I'll bring it up to him. We're going Franklin for that project too. So he's already in love with the product. He already said, screw Enphase, all Franklin.
No, dude. The reason I love Franklin is when I came to Franklin when I first visited Shenzhen, where they were making it. There were literally, it was a bunch of like 120 dudes in a back room smoking cigarettes and blowing shit up. Like when I went the next year, the Franklin battery was in an oven cooking at 158 degrees, and like it's a constant. Like this is exactly where Jason should be, because we like to break things and then like innovate off of them, right? Like that's the idea. So
Jason's a badass, man. I think you guys would get along great. It would be really cool to have you guys working together since I'm so close to them. Just bring it all together.
invites there now. We literally fought to have that position open. Then they posted it. I'm like, man, you guys just hired. You could have saved all of that nonsense. We're gonna have to interview like 30 people.
His area that he built, his little off-grid junction that he built up north?
Not in person, but I've watched the videos. I'm gonna watch all this stuff that he makes. So
insane. Very cool.
Yeah, big fan of him. I mean, that's we just had Ben Solons in as an ambassador, right? The
Yeah.
Tesla YouTuber, and he's like abandoned Tesla, and he's like, dude, I'm so like in love with Franklin. He's like, I wish you'd make a car. Like, he's like, that's what I want to see. I'm like, no, dude, no.
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 I'll stick with
Not
what we're
yet.
doing.
One day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other questions, guys? I do have to bounce in about a minute.
Hey, I have
Owen,
horrible
no,
cell phone
we-
service,
we-
but
we-
I just did want
Okay, go ahead. Now we can hear you.
to. Okay, but I think the key though is that most people don't understand that your generator fills up the batteries. It does not supply energy to the house. That way, you can, if you had a power outage for 5 days and you turn on your generator, standard generator, turn on the battery, you're creating a new cycle. You're not having conflict of generator working with the house. Still the A gate. The A gate is the Rosetta Stone, is how I saw it. Which all the other configurations say they work with generators. Their configurations suck and their sketch is shit, right?
Yeah.
Franklin is going to protect your house from blowing circuits and starting a fire with the generator. So that's a
100.
point I always bring up to my.
So it's like a surge protector. That's a good way to
Dude,
actually put it.
talk to Mike Patterson in Florida. He'll tell you guys about how his neighborhood, they like even his solar edge inverter that was installed line side into the grid, and then he has the system protecting everything else on the back end. Everybody in his neighborhood was coming out with TVs and computers and just dumping them on the street because of a surge. Like it was just fridges, everything. And he's like, even his solar edge inverter burned up from the voltage, but everything on the other side of the Franklin was perfectly fine. On the other side of the gate, A gate. So,
Good to know.
Solar Edge, you said?
yeah, solar edge inverter was
Hear that?
pre-installed. Yeah, and then he basically added to the system, right? Line-sided. If it had been end phase, it would have blown end phase, right? It
Oh,
doesn't
okay,
matter.
wow.
Like
You didn't
it
need to
wouldn't
say
have
that.
mattered. Yeah, it was like a 5 kVA blast, dude. It was something insane.
Right. That's
That's
like
crazy.
insane. That's insane. But it's cool to know that you got that like a little bit of basically a built-in surge suppressor effectively with the.
Oh yeah, yeah. It
bit.
shuts off the grid. When the grid gets bad, it shuts off the grid and goes off grid and protects your house. That's the
Nice.
beauty of islanding, right? That's what you guys are looking for. It's just a nice steady place that 240 volt can flow through. It's the advantage of AC coupling. It is what it
Okay.
is. Yeah.
Cool. Well, we know you got to get going, Justin. I appreciate you spending time with us on this, and we look forward to having this option on the platform and being able to sell it. I plan on starting to make some switches right here within the week with some of the new hardware we're getting, and some new TPO options, but also just the fact that we're going to have this awesome like battery that's going to be really sweet. So because all my customers love the Franklin, so they do.
Yeah.
Like Franklin's always been like zero issue, and I love it. So it's been a great product, and installers love commissioning them too. So they don't like the weight as much, but they like commissioning.
Yeah, eat your Wheaties. Eat your
Eat
Wheaties.
your-
I'm tired of people complaining. It's heavy. We made a lift. No complaints, right?
Right.
So-
Cool. Well, I appreciate it.
appreciate
Thanks
you
so
guys.
much, Justin.
Yeah. Bye.